savages. That's all it is.
You'd be liking their pictures a couple of days ahead of time, following them, and then.
All right, we are live, fellas. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are live. Welcome to another session of the Cashapp podcast. You guys already know my name is Will. I'm the host of this show, #1 Polynesian podcast in the world.
Man.
Oh wow, let's get it, y'all. We have a great show for you guys. As you can see, we have a full panel of guests, and we have more guests joining us along the way. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciate you guys tuning in from a Wednesday late night shows, and of course everybody out there that subscribes to my channel. I can see the viewership going up. I can see you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for everybody subscribing to my channel, supporting my channel. You guys already know what to do. If you love the content, appreciate the channel and the live shows I host every single week for you guys. Don't forget to smash and press that like, subscribe button real quick. Don't forget this is a public show, so I always appreciate you guys always sending your comments, your opinions, and perspectives on the live chat. So let's definitely get the live chat going. You guys already know the topic that we're going to discuss tonight. I see you already, MZ Carol 626. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Hey, always appreciate you being on the live show. Thank you so much. We have a great topic to discuss tonight, and we're going to have different topics from these guests as well that we're going to definitely discuss. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Always appreciate your feedback, your opinions, your perspectives, whether you agree or disagree. Let me know what you guys truly think and where you guys tuning in from. Let me know where you guys tuning in from, which part of the world on the live chat. Don't forget, this is a public show. So if you're watching this for the first time, if you're not familiar with my content, you guys can join and be part of the podcast. I will post the public link on the live chat on YouTube. So if you're watching this from Facebook, if you're watching this from Twitch, you have to come to YouTube. I'll pin it to the top of the screen. Click on that link, and you can be part of the conversation. So always appreciate the conversations from all the guests. Whether you agree, but I also know I have a lot of haters out there, people that disagree with my content.
How dare you?
So whether you agree or disagree, especially with this topic that we're going to discuss, I know a lot of ladies have been upset on this topic, that we're even discussing this topic as men. But yeah, if you're one of those ladies out there, people disagree, please, if you want to be part of the conversation, I do invite you to come on and let's have a conversation. Click on that link. Don't forget the super chat donations. Always appreciate you guys supporting my channel financially with your pockets. You guys already know every donation is reinvested back to my content. Of course, I'm launching my podcast studio by the end of this year to have in live studio podcast for all you guys out there. So thank you so much for all your support. But don't forget, if you guys have a specific question, you have a specific topic that you guys want us to discuss on the live podcast, ask it through a super chat. I'll definitely prioritize it, give you a shout out. I'll read it on the screen and make sure that we have an opportunity to respond to you from all the guests. So definitely let me know if you have a question or topic, ask it through a super chat. But that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Let's get right into it. Shout out to the fellas real quick. All the way different parts of the world for being on here tonight. We have a great topic, fellas. And yeah, I know a lot of ladies are going to be triggered and upset about this topic, but this is one of the conversations that we have to have, especially coming from the men. So always appreciate you guys being on here and be part of it, being open to discuss this topic. So yeah, I know what everybody's watching this right now. Let's go through the introductions real quick. Everybody let everybody know who you are real quick if they don't know who you are. So I'll start with my newest guest. We go way back in the football days. We played ball. My boy Mack. Mack, thank you for jumping up for the podcast. But go ahead, Mack. Give yourself a quick intro to everybody out there.
Hey, man, welcome, man. Thank you, brother, man. Will's been trying to get me on this platform for a minute, so I'm, man, truly blessed to be on here tonight. Man, go by McManus. People also call me Mack. Come out of San Francisco. Fully born, lived here my whole life, and pretty much live and breathe San Francisco. But like I said, brother Will, I appreciate you for throwing me on with the rest of the good brothers on board tonight. And we're going to keep it rolling, man.
All right. No worries. You got to represent the Usos, man. Keep it real, man. Keep it real.
Man, we're going to try to do that, man.
All right. Appreciate you, Uso. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. Thank you so much. Let me pass it to Devil. Devil, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, your mic needs to be turned on. Yeah.
I was just saying how I've been rocking with Will going on this podcast for a while. Obviously, still acting like it's my first time. Good times, man. But yeah, no, I love hopping on and hearing what other people have to say. I have done this with Will, Taniela, and Ifedii many times, and they always have something new to say and a new perspective to give. So I'm excited to hear what they have to say tonight. And just given that the topic is heavily related to ladies, I'm happy to discuss in the comments or live what if anyone wants to come up and give us some pushback. I actually welcome it. It makes iron sharpens iron. So hopefully you guys can get the courage to come push back on anything that you guys disagree with. It'll make for a good conversation. So that's all I can hope for.
All right, no worries. Yeah, Devil. I mean, I always appreciate you because we do go way back, and I can always rely on Devil for the stats, for the statistics and the data. Oh, that's my stat man. That's my analyst right here, Devil. Thank you so much, man. Always appreciate you on the live show. Let me pass it to Ifedii. Ifedii, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Good morning. I'm Ifedii. I'm a fitness guru, and it's my first time. I'm very shy, so I wish you guys take care of me, okay? But I'm glad to be back, Will. I miss you guys, and to be honest, I'm so tired of arguing with women that I really enjoy this space a lot when you do this all men panel. So let's see what, like Devil said, every time we talk, I came with like some new conclusions. So let's see what happens today.
All right, Ifedii, man. Thank you so much, Ifedii. Always appreciate it. Ifedii will definitely go way back in the beginning. Thank you so much, Ifedii. Always a pleasure to have you on. And last but not least, Taniela, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
What's up, everyone? I'm a casual to the podcast, so if you've been around, you've seen my mug all over the place. But if you're new, I'm Taniela, currently tuning in from New Zealand, and yeah, it's always a privilege and an honor to be invited to the podcast, regardless of whatever the topic may be. Even more so with the lineup of panelists that we've got on. I think we've established that we can have discourse in a manner where we can be civil about it, and especially when it comes to subjects like is this. Before I hand it back to Will, if you're in the comment section and if you disagree with any of the things that we say, do come on. What I've sort of witnessed over the course of this podcast is that people would like to argue either side of the arguments, but won't jump on. And what that shows to me is that you're willing to type it down as a keyboard warrior, but you're not willing to jump on and face the reality of being confronted by another human being, which is what tests whether your resolve is true or not. So yeah, again, Will, thank you for the opportunity. I cannot wait to get into this topic and hash it out and chop it up with everyone else on board. And yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, no worries. Shout out to the fellas real quick. Thank you so much. Thank you, fellas. Excited to have you guys on. And of course, if you're watching this right now, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will post the public link on the live chat on YouTube. So if you do want to jump on, especially if you, people who do have a different opinion and do disagree, I highly invite you to come on. Let's have an open conversation real quick. But fellas, you guys already the topic that we're going to discuss tonight is female promiscuity empowering or destroying the value of a lot of women, the value of a woman. So obviously, this is the topic that we're going to discuss tonight. I know there's been a lot of feminists that have been reaching out to me since I posted this topic on Monday. They were upset that we're even having this conversation, but obviously we already know the female promiscuity. We all live here in America, but I know, Taniela, you're in New Zealand, which is a Western society, but we live here in modern society, Western society, that the female promiscuity is empowered and encouraged. You know, casual sex, hookup culture, promiscuity, OnlyFans, selling their bodies, sexual work. So these are things that are starting to become normalized within our society. So pretty much, fellas, what we're going to discuss tonight, are these things empowering women, or are they destroying women, especially with their value, and especially with the dynamic of a healthy relationship in marriage with a long-term partner. So obviously, there's a lot of feminism promotes this heavily on the Western society, but I think that one of the reasons I do want to talk about this and bring this up, especially in our panel, is because I believe that feminism hides the truth of to a lot of women out there who encourage them to behave in these certain behaviors and make these type of decisions, but they don't tell them the consequences of their choices, how it's going to affect them biologically as a woman, but how that affects them as well in the sexual dating market, especially if they want to attract a good man, family, and a relationship. So obviously, we're all here to have the discussion, but what I do hope to highlight on this discussion is the side that feminism and especially the progressive, the left, the modern women that they kind of hide from the younger women, so they understand the landscape exactly what's going to happen to them, and how men view them, especially coming from the men's perspective. We always hear from the women's perspective, but we don't really hear from the men's perspective. So I'm open to hear what you guys think about this topic. And of course, everybody that's watching right now, let me know what you guys think. Especially the ladies out there. I do want to invite the ladies to come on if you want to be part of the conversation. But let me open up the topic for you guys. And let's start with our newest guest, McManus. What's your thoughts on the topic? What's your initial thoughts? Is female promiscuity empowering or destroying the value of a woman?
Hey, man, brother, man, just coming back to, basis on the subject tonight. What we see on social media nowadays, man, and what's giving us things that, what we see nowadays. You turn on your social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. First thing you're seeing on there is, your favorite sports team. Maybe one of your, we was talking about Kevin Samuels, a few things like that. And you got your supermodels and you got your Instagram models, stuff and such like that. Through time, man, I've just been seeing, through the times and let's say the last couple months that, females that I'm starting to see kind of put their bios together, and kind of situating herself in a way that, they're exposing themselves. And, once you click into stuff like that and starting to figure out what are those things that are in their bio, you start to figure out, okay, they're kind of like doing other things to what it is. As for what, I'm kind of trying to explore with that is, I'm still a guy on still trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? As of for now, it's just going to give it to the floor, to the guys to see, what they thought about the subject and kind of piggyback on it, to see where it goes from there. Brother Will.
Okay. All right. No worries. I'll definitely come back to you, McManus. Thank you so much. Okay. I'll pass it to you, Devil. Devil, what do you think, Devil? Is female promiscuity destroying the value, empowering or destroying the value of a woman? Oh, you're mute again, Devil.
Devil, come on, bro.
I'm trying to be respectful. I have a fan on. I don't want it blowing over you guys talking. Spit fire here. One of these times, you guys just gotta let me go. I'm gonna be like, yeah, at the end, and then 5 minutes later, you guys are just gonna be on the ground laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? It was a good point. All right, so I broke this down as I normally do. Because the common misconception when we say anything about a woman losing value, it's like, no, so you have to add the caveat, not in the eyes of God, not in the eyes of, so in what aspects do they lose value? There are 4 main areas that I'd be concerned about them, or they should be concerned about losing value. If they're religious, in the eyes of God, first and foremost, are you going to get into heaven or not? Are you going to think that you've even sinned? Because if you don't think you have anything to ask for forgiveness for, then you're in trouble. And that's just hands down, almost cross-religion, cross-culturally. Promiscuous women were shamed, and in my opinion, it was for good reason, because it exhibits the inability to delay gratification. You live, for short-term pleasure, and you ignore, disregard, and dismiss the facts, evidence that it negatively affects your long-term prospects. So in the eyes of God, across religion, yes, it does diminish your value. And that's like New and Old Testament. In the eyes of men, does it affect your ability to earn, to eventually end up with a good husband? If you're looking for a high value, ambitious man with options, then yes, it will diminish your value in terms of of high value men. If you want to get with a guy that, you know, will accept a single mom of 5 kids with 5 baby daddies that's overweight and they just tick all the boxes of what, you know, women think that men shouldn't look down upon, then good luck. But if I had a daughter, I would try and make sure that they avoid those categories to the best of my ability. So in the eyes of men, yes. In the eyes of God, yes, they are diminished. In the eyes of the government, absolutely not. It's kind of an unholy alliance. And I think that the government has no incentive to disincentivize women from acting promiscuously because they make money off of it. They make a lot of money off of it. The whole child support system. I was just watching this lady. She was a attorney that only represents men because she's very familiar with a certain set of laws. And it was like the Social Securities Act for something D. And long story short, it just means that the government gets a percentage. If the man and woman make similar amounts and get split custody, the government doesn't make much money. But if one gets primary custody, say the woman out-earns the man, the woman gets primary custody, he still has to pay a lot of child support to her. And based on if the government can say, oh, one person's abusive, usually it's the man that's easier to accuse of abuse, then the government makes more money. So there actually is kind of an unholy alliance. And no, you're not diminished in the eyes of government. And then lastly, your job. Corporations want to make money off of us. The more women that are single, the more women will be in the workforce instead of at home with kids, and the more taxpayers there will be. So corporations, like if you look even now, I've seen huge pushes for we'll pay for your abortion, we'll pay for your expenses to go out of state. Sorry, we can say termination just for the YouTube algo. Even the paying for egg freezing services. So I just wanted to touch on each of those 4 in the eyes of God, in the eyes of other potential husbands / men, in the eyes of the government, and in the eyes of your job. So I think the most important of the 2, your value is diminished in, and that's in the eyes of God and then in the eyes of a potential husband.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate your feedback on that. Shout out to iHoop on the live chat. He said, new subscriber. Hey, shout out to you, man. Really hope. Thank you so much. Appreciate you on the live chat, man. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And don't forget, if you're watching this for the first time, I really hope you can join the podcast. I just posted the public link on the live chat for all you guys watching this right now. So if you want to be part of the conversation, click on that link. It's pinned to the top of the screen on the YouTube live chat, and you can be part of. And Ifedii, hey Cam, man, I see you. I see you in the live chat. Click on that link and get your ass on in here, man.
Yeah, but he has to change the name because I'm not going to be called Ifedii 7 times. And what? It's me. It is me. It's not me. Ifedii and Fedii sound the same. Last time was a case because.
All right, no worries. But shout out to everybody in the live chat. But yeah, let me pass it to you, Fatty. Fatty, what do you think, man? Is female promiscuity empowering or destroying the value of a woman?
Right now is not either of them, and I'm going to explain why. Like the value of something is through the eye of the buyer. If the buyer thinks something is valuable, he's going to buy. If it is not, he's not going to buy. And I know that we are on the panel. We are unfortunately a small minority, but what I'm seeing is that a lot of men in this society are okay with this behavior, are okay with their woman going around college, fucking 10 guys, then through 20 to 30, fucking more 20 guys, and then at 30, shooting a buzzer beater from half court and scoring from the half court, and they pay premium for that. And that's reality. Because if we are, I was on a panel before, and the guy was talking about how he was cheated on, and he was saying that it was a mistake. It was not a conscious decision, it was a mistake. And he was saying that if he had a wife and a family and kids, and for some reason she cheated on him, he would stay for the kids. So there's a lot of this. And the guy is a good dude. The guy has been around these places. But men, for some reason, they look at women like they are children. They look at women like it's a mistake. There's no accountability. He was keep referring to the fact that, oh, she was vulnerable and he took advantage of her. It's always like some child type behavior that men usually excuse women for. So that's why I think they are not losing value. They are not losing value because we are not responding on a proportional way. We are seeing women change before our eyes with IG, with social media, with everything. A few men are being loud about it and talking about it. But even on conservative television, Fox News will never tell women to stop sleeping around. The CNN will never. The both sides of the coin are very afraid of the feminist movement and the power that women got on the last years, and they are not going to do it. And feminism, for some reason, lacks the part of the self-improvement part. It was a power grab. We understand that they wanted more power and they got it, but the self-improvement part is not there. Oh, are you fat? Oh, love your curve, girl. Oh, you slept with them. That's empowering. You have a bad personality. Oh, they are afraid of you. They are insecure about your presence. It doesn't have any kind of teachings that the feminist movement gives to women. Doesn't have the consequences at the end of the tunnel. And that's why a lot of women are fucking through their 20s, and then when they get to 30, they want the guy, but the guy is saying, why am I going to marry you if the woman that used to be you, that are now 21, 22, 23, are giving it up for free? Why am I going to do that? But they never understand that till it's too late. Or it's not that it's too late, because like I said, there's a lot of men there. But I will only agree with you, Will, on the premise of this question when I stop seeing women getting 30 to 31, and then I go to their IG. They were single and childless for 10 years, and for some reason, as soon as the number turns 3 instead of 2, they are having a baby shower, they are happy. Men are still buying that, bro. They are still doing. Even on this weekend, like a girl that I was used to talk with her, and I was saying, if you want to have kids, you have to hurry up. The guy that you are with, you have to be careful. Take your time. And she was like, no, I get it. And she got it. Now she's pregnant, 7 months. So if the buyer doesn't react, if the buyer keeps paying premium price for a car that was used, is paying a new model, is paying the same price for the new model than for the car that is used, they're not losing value because they are winning. They are playing both sides. I'm going to fuck everyone, and then I'm going to come to Ifedii. Hi, Ifedii. Do you want to be father? Okay, great. And they are using it for that. So it's a little bit disappointing because men, unfortunately, I thought men were more loyal, but I think men have a lot of things that they usually say. I will never forgive cheating. I will never be with a promiscuous wife. And the reality is most men are a blowjob away from the plantation, from coming back to the plantation. That's the reality. So I don't know. Let's see how the next 10 years are going to go.
I was just going to hit that button.
Yeah, that's the ultimate quote. That's the ultimate quote, Fatty. A man is just a blowjob away from going back to that.
Yeah, but that is the Brazilian guys. Like the Brazil is the second biggest red pill community. And a lot of them, even on the red pill movements, they understand that 70% of those guys are one blowjob away from returning to the plantation. It's very performative. I will never do that. I learned my lesson. And then they get a woman. Oh, I will never be with a single mother. But now she's hot. And she has a nice ass. And what am I going to do? Yeah.
All right. I always appreciate it, Fatty. Yeah, you made a great point. Actually, I actually like that take. I think it's pretty neutral. If the majority of men are accepting and tolerating these behaviors, then maybe, like you said, the buyer, then it's hard to say. Yeah, appreciate that. I like that perspective. Let me pass it on to Taniela. Taniela, what do you think? What do you think about the topic? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree with what vast majority of Ifedii, Mack, and David has said in regards to how we look at women's value. So the whole promiscuity thing wasn't a tactic that men use to shame women. It usually was other women. So if you look towards sort of the traditional era, when a woman was sleeping around, it wasn't the men who were talking shit about her, because the men were like, okay, I know, Sally from down the road, she's one that will go around, and they didn't really care. Why? Because now they can step out of their marriage because Sally is offering it. It was the women who would gossip, and they would try and they would
Yo, I can't even
try
hear
and
y'all. Hold
maintain
on. I don't know what's going
some level of standards within that community that they have, right? So what we're seeing now is a big justification of why promiscuity should be equal to men. Now, ultimately, the value of a woman does go down, and if you sit down with a woman who is promiscuous and you ask her, what is the standard of men that if you can pinpoint year by year the level of standards that you have for men and the most preferential type of man that you have, every year it will increase. It will increase from a guy that has a house to a guy who has multiple houses, a guy who has multiple houses with a car, a guy with multiple houses, cars, and businesses. The unfortunate thing is that the more bodies that she stacks, the less likely she will end up with the guy that she would prefer. So vast majority of these women get run through by quote-unquote high-valued men, and then when they come back and settle for the average man is not going to care. Why? Because the average man does not have the options that someone who is a highly competent man, which are these women are sort of got to a point where this is who they prefer. The average Joe is going to think, hey, this woman has given me a chance. I don't think I will ever get the same level of opportunity again. So why should I care about her body count? If I do XYZ right, I'm sure she'll stay with me. Now, I'm not saying that's a wrong move for a man to say, yeah, I'll take her in because she's a woman and things can work out. But you're operating from a place where she settled with you, so you're 50-50. And that 50-50 is up to her, whether she decides to leave or not. Now, I'm not saying that relationship that work out and become successful do not come from women who has had a hoe phase and stacked bodies and bodies and bodies. But what I'm saying is that a very likelihood of that woman walking away from that relationship has been proven, studies over and over again. So statistics to prove that women are leaving men at a very much larger scale. Now, there's also an argument from the other side that why is promiscuity not the same between men and women? This is usually an argument that's been made either from the left or from women in general who either idolize this lifestyle or is looking to potentially partake in this lifestyle. And the reason for that is they don't understand that a vast majority of men do not get access to sex. The portion that do get access to sex, vast majority of them are lucky. There is only a minute number of men, and I'm willing to say 1% or even lower, that has the option to choose a woman X1, 1, 2, or 3, and can walk into any place and pick a woman up and walk away. It's a very tiny data of men that are promiscuous. Now, when women also use the excuse of, oh, well, all men cheat. No, you have a type. You're attracted to men who cheat. That's not to the vast majority of men. So in terms of this question, and before I sort of babble on even further, yes. Why? Because a vast majority of promiscuous women will settle for the average man when they know fully well that that's not their preference. And their preference increase over time, the more body that they stack.
All right, no worries. Thank you, Taniela. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, Taniela. And let me pass it to Cam. Cam, definitely thank you for jumping on part of the podcast. But Cam, what's your thoughts on the topic that we are discussing tonight? Is female promiscuity empowering or destroying the value of a woman? And especially I'd like to hear your perspective because you come from the nightclub, the concert scene. So you see that type of the rap, you're in the music industry, so you kind of have a perspective to add on to the discussion. But what's your thoughts, Cam?
Come on, Devil. That's your fault, Devil. Again. Don't. I'm sorry.
Yo. So
there you go.
I just wanted to ask the question one more time. What you said. Yo,
You get
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can listen.
Okay. I was basically saying if you could ask the question again one more time.
yeah.
Sorry.
Is female promiscuity empowering or destroying the value of a woman?
Oh, this is definitely destroying the value of the woman. Well, the reason why I feel like it is because a lot of women, once they have multiple sexual partners and stuff, they're always gonna think about like, oh, that other person. Like as a man, if we have sex with a girl, even though it's hella good, and we have a good woman, we're gonna be like, oh, we still might stay with this woman. You know what I mean? We're not gonna try to do her wrong. But as a woman and stuff, they get emotional and stuff, so they might be like, oh. I might leave this guy because, like he has better sex. So, like, that's how I hear all the time when it comes to women. When I talk to women that are like my friends and stuff, like just kicking it with them or something. Not really my friends, but, just kicking with some females and stuff. And they be like, yeah, they want somebody that's, destroying them walls. And some dudes can't destroy the walls, So, once they have an experience with a dude that could really go crazy on her and really turn her out, she ain't gonna want to go back to somebody that's just doing some weak stuff, So that's how I think about it. So it's definitely destroying the woman. But if she's not getting good, so if she's not getting good sex, like she has sex with 10 dudes, right? And none of them is good sex. And the last dude that she's actually like, I'm gonna fuck with her. I'm gonna fuck with him, and he's giving her good sex. She might stay with him and be like, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like all them other dudes couldn't do it, but he did it. And he's staying solid to her and she's staying solid to him, So that's how I feel. It just depends on the type of people that she has sex with.
Okay. All right. No worries. All right. Thank you, thank you, Ken. I'll pass it to you back, Mac. I know you wanted to hear from the fellas, and anything you want to add on, McManus?
Oh no, man, definitely just want to continue on. Definitely were kind of left on, and I appreciate the brothers kind of spinning their version to kind of like experience, things that in the past, and then also what brother Devil was explaining earlier in his topics that about religion and stuff like that. And I bring religion into it because as a Polynesian person, our main background is religion. Um, and for women, all women, I know they're all going to be religious in some type of way, and what they grow through. And I feel like at a certain type of period of time and of age, they develop. I mean, they develop into a seed, and not knowing what direction they're going to go to. What one of the brothers was saying earlier, you know what I mean? We know Peggy Sue back in elementary with the pigtails. You know what I mean? She was cool. She was solid. Didn't know anything about her. You go 10, 15 years down from now, you never know. That's the homegirl now. She's stripping. We were speaking about OnlyFans. Um, and I bring back about social media earlier about the bios. I run into my own people. You know what I mean? It's not a surprise. It's a thing now for a woman's platform to succeed in what they want to do out there to get money back in what they need. And what Brother Cam said earlier about sex, you know what I mean? Experiences like that, that puts them in the motion of maybe what they want to do right now, how they put themselves in the situation they are right now, to kind of lead these men to come in that direction. But I'm not going to say all women are like that. You got a lot of good women out there that definitely will pick up and be like, you know what? Like Brett said, I smashed all these dudes, but there was that one particular dude that, stood out. And eventually, hey, I hate to say it, some of the homies that I know now eventually married that one and went back to where it was. So, I mean, where it leads to and how it kind of brushes forward for that woman, I mean, it's how she kind of came up. And I said how she came up and grown and put herself out there. She was top game. She was a square. You know what I mean? She wasn't popular. She was popular. It's things when I say when you expand the seed, you get all these things of what direction you go to. But like I said, all these females that want to put themselves out there for OnlyFans, want to be a porn star in the future, if that's what their hormone kind of leads them to, I mean, that's their decision, and we're gonna leave that to that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take that away from them. I'm not gonna disrespect none of that. That's how just the way some of them women are gonna go, and we just gonna leave that for them on the platform and let them go on how they decide they want to be in the next 10 or 20 years. Do they want a husband, or do they want to continue having a sugar daddy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, McManus. Hey, McManus, I have a quick question. Just let me know yes or no.
Yep.
I know you say you're very religious. Do you believe on the phase of the woman that I see today in modern society of the born again virgin? Is that a real thing, or?
Say it again.
Do you believe with the new trend I see today in modern society? It's called a born again virgin. I know you're very religious, so do you agree with, is that a real thing or no?
Man, if you put that in and you want to make that a reborn virgin for yourself, you become a reborn virgin. But hey, if you already let it out and you became that let on eagle, hey, you let it go. Nah, I don't believe in that at all, brother.
It's like a saying that you can't unfuck someone. What's done is done.
A lot of women, what they basically say, if he didn't make me bust, then I didn't have sex with him.
Man,
Like crazy. I'm like, what? Or shoot. I mean, to be honest,
I wish my
bad.
Go ahead, Cam.
A girl who's a thought, all she has to do is go to a different state or a different whole city, like a 200 miles away or something. She really wants to find a husband. Real talk. She could be the girl that, because we all know that girl that, after the party, 10 dudes and hers in one room, you know what I mean? And then after that, she ends up being married to some dude in the Marines or something, so we all know that.
Thanks.
All right, no worries. Thank you. If you're watching this right now in the live chat, I want to let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree to born again virgin, and especially for the religious people? But don't forget, like and subscribe and click on that public link. I know Taniela, you want to add on real quick? Go ahead, Taniela.
Yeah. So what Cam was saying is essentially what is essentially going to be the biggest problem for women who are promiscuous, right? Because if you're a promiscuous woman, you have a high chance of coming across someone who's very sexually competent, someone who's got good dick, can throw it down, and know how to use it. Vast majority of these men, though, they're not looking for commitment. They know what they got, and they know women will flock to them. So the thing with when women sort of speak about promiscuity, I mean, now one of the qualifications for men is that you've got to make her nut, right? So that's a big thing now that it's been added on to their checklist of the men that they want to see potential sort of long-term commitment from. Unfortunately, these men also know what they've got. They know their competence in this sort of area, and they're not willing to settle. So when a woman gets with that type of man, now she's been imprinted. Now she has a level of standard that is unachievable for most average men. But she has to settle. The wall is closing in, and not only that, where vast majority of women don't want to end up lonely. And when they see their friends getting married and having a couple of kids and all of these things, she will some of those women will want to have that type of relationship. Unfortunately, it won't be the guy that she wants it with. So when she's in a relationship, there's always that thought, what if Chad or Tyrone was in the body of George that I'm with now? So we're now finding out that if she's given even a slither of opportunity later on to get hit it again, most likely women will say yes.
I want to play devil's advocate a little bit to that too. Let me test this out here. I'm gonna.
Hey, Devil, you are muted, bro.
Taniela.
You are muted.
No, he's not. You hear him?
So I might be 35, but I'm in the best shape of my life. I make all this money, and you're trying to tell me that my value is low. How does it even make sense?
You need to tell me what soundboard is there, because I need to buy one.
Did you hear my words?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
but
make a vast majority of that, but I pretty much I make all these money. Who are you to tell me what?
I'm in the
how
best
I
shape of my
live?
life, so you're telling me that my value's gone down even though just because I'm 35?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that is shocking to women is that they have no clue of what the standard of men, the level of standard that we men look for in women. It's vastly different from what women look for in men, right? We're shallow. Every man is shallow in terms of what they look for in a woman. They just want sex. That's it. But in order to get sex, you have to be a good dude. You have to have potential to be a good father, good husband. You have to have either some financial competence, have a job, be self-sufficient, be somewhat able to communicate. Not only that, be aware of her emotions. These are all additional things that a man has to attain prior to getting access to sex. But if you really look down at it, we're shallow as shit. We just want to have access to sex and some sort of peace, usually in the form of a home, and that's it. Sex and peace and some food, some good food. But in order for that to be wrapped up and be able to given to us in a way where we're able to achieve that, we have to add additional values and that sort of thing, which a lot of women seems to not understand, because now they're entering the sexual marketplace. Now they have to vet. And they don't know what to vet for. And they vet for things that are very short term and temporarily, which is a man that can game you and sort of communicate your pants off, really. So they talk about, I've been manipulated all these years. Yeah, with words. His actions weren't there. He didn't follow through with any of his promises, but you allowed the words to convince you day in and day out that this person was somewhat potential. Which is why we talk about, if you want a man, a good value man or high valued man, accountability, resilience, and discipline. Those three, you're done, right? That man will make things work. But he's also got to have boundaries, because even to be accountable, he's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And when you step out of line, it's like, hey, you reach a boundary that I've already communicated with you. You either turn the other way and we walk this pathway together, or are moving on. So, yeah.
But
Crazy.
can I just say one thing to what Taniela said?
Yep.
Taniela, the thing is, it's very difficult to hold a woman accountable when you are the first one to do it after 25 years, right? For all your life, you've been accountable on soccer practice, on school, you probably are the first one, because we know how dads are around there when they have daughters. We know how they are. It's my princess. She can do no wrong. She was this, she was that. So it's very hard for you to come in her life like 25 years later and to be the first one to hold her accountable. Especially, you were talking about like woman experiences. We're talking about literally just sex. You probably might not be the bigger one. You probably are not the best in bed. But I think it's not even just about that. I think women form like a chimera type of beast where they put the head of man, they put the penis of the other man, they put the finances of the other man, they put the height of the other man, and they mashed it up together, and they form like a giant megazord that you will never compete for, because it's very. Do you see like how many guys on Wall Street every time there's a crash, they have like 7 million, and now they
Giant
only have
mega. What was the word you used? Giant mega who?
Megazord
so-
from the
yeah.
Power Rangers.
You can just call me David.
I don't
what I'm
want to.
taking,
I don't
what
want
I'm
to dodge
taking is
you. Devil.
women fantasize about chimeras and men fantasize about robots, essentially.
It's a good thing though for us though as men. That's how I
No,
feel.
but the thing is,
I
we
like
like
that.
variety, right? Like Ifedii said, if you have a good dad at home, you are not going to compare. If you are going to cheat, it's not a comparison at all. It's because you want something else. It's not I miss Tanya because Tanya did this. No, I have this one. She's a good cook. She has good in bed. She does this and this and that. It's not like you go to war and you get more experience. Next war, you are going to be, going to be more strategic. You are going to understand how to move, where to go, where to spend your energy. Woman, no. Woman gets scars on battle. They don't learn a lot about the battle. They only know where to hide better. I know if I see them coming like that, I have to run that way. And what happens is that usually, and I give you this example, bro, you dated the guy for 6 months, you live on a mansion. Now you are on a 1-bedroom apartment with the guy that you love. That shit is going to fuck up your head. You are with a guy that every time that you were in college, you went to get you on a Lamborghini, and all your friends, oh, look at that. And now you live with a guy that has a Toyota. That shit is going to fuck up your mind. So when they do it, they experience so many things. They go through so many guys, and they get around so many experiences that one man can never do it. That when they get to you, they are compromised, and that's reality. Because you have to be like a top-notch guy to be able to be the best of the best, and for her to not miss all those guys. And a man usually is not like that. A man is like, okay, it was great to see Tanya. It was great to see Daniela. But now I have my wife, and I don't miss that. I miss new pussy, but old pussy, I don't care about it. So I think it's a little bit different on that point.
That's true. That's definitely true.
All
Definitely
right.
true.
Yeah. No worries. Let me read some comments real quick. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for sharing, fellas. I see Night Kyle in the CV from all the way from Twitch. Kyle said, "What's the difference in the argument if you replace each word of woman to man to man?" All right, thank you, Kyle. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the live
answer
chat.
that quick. I was actually going to comment.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer that.
All right.
Answer that real quick for him, Devil.
To hit on that real quick is, I mean, men have more good years, and they come later in your life. I mean, a guy that has a college degree and is broke at 22 versus his counterpart, who's a fit, beautiful 22-year-old girl who's also broke. She has a lot more relationship prospects than he does. So, and a guy, if you stay in shape and you just keep gaining wisdom, you could be 45 and have your pick of the best 25, 22 to 30-year-olds, especially if you have a passport. So, if you really want to corner women on this argument, it's just, yeah, you might be 35. Yeah, you might be in better shape than you were at 25, but you still only have 3 to 5 years of fertility left. I don't want to be on that kind of time schedule. You know, your good years are gone, like in terms of your ability to build a foundation and start a family. I would rather catch her at 25, grow with her, and enjoy those years with her instead of hope that she doesn't endure trauma during those years that you have to deal with later in therapy and all that other stuff.
And I just want to add like one thing real quick. Replace men for women. Chris Brown, we know, Trey Songz is a better example. You know, he is very promiscuous. Don't you see women standing on the line on the concert screaming, ah! They will fuck him anyway. Women never punish promiscuity. They know what's up, and they want it. Now go to a Rihanna concert. Do you see men on the front of the Rihanna? No, if they are gay, they are going to do that. But heterosexual men, they know what's up with Rihanna. They don't look at her seeing more attractive than an average woman because she was with a billionaire and she was with Epsom. They really don't care about that. They rather have Rihanna. They rather have Rihanna working on a Foot Locker without all those bodies, without all those problems, than having like an international superstar that being run through 20 guys that we know of. So that's the difference between men and women. You guys don't punish men. When you start punish men for being promiscuous, when you say, "Oh, you are a lady, you are a playboy," yeah, but you are still going to fuck me. So I don't see where it goes.
That's the other thing that a vast majority of these arguments lack, is that a promiscuous man is only promiscuous because other women allows him to be, right? A man who's got good dick has become a somewhat of value to a woman because a woman has deemed that valuable for her. And now it seems like a vast majority of women have deemed that to be a competence that they look for in a man. And they want to talk about promiscuity. Why is it not the same for men and women? Because when we look at women, we don't value that at all. And we understand why. We understand our own capability, and we understand we need to avoid, vast majority of men I think Ifedii just spoke on it, aren't competently sexual. They know how to bust a nut, and that's about it. They might learn how to please a woman, but we all know every woman's different. You know, the woman that likes it up the ass is not going to be the same as the next woman who looks at you and go, what the fuck are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Right? So every woman has a different way of pleasure. There may be similarities, but very different. So when we look at women in that sense, we understand. I'm not going to compete with an imprint of a guy who knows it all in the bedroom. So rather than me trying to get with this woman, and I know that, you know, she's out of my league, I'm not going to try. And we understand that. We understand the reality of our own capabilities and what we can attain. So therefore, we don't value a woman that has high body count. Now, you flip the script and you look at women, vast majority of women allow men to be promiscuous. That's the only reason why. And when other men celebrate those men, guess why? Because most of the men that celebrate him don't even get access to sex. They are lucky that a woman would get drunk at the club and go, oh yeah, I might try him. That's probably the only closest they will ever get to having sex. So therefore they look with admiration towards other men who are within that lifestyle, because they understand that man has competence, and not only that, women allow him to have sex.
Being a promiscuous man is difficult. Being a promiscuous woman is going to the street and pick up a rock. You shouldn't get brownie points for that. You should.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say something. So how I feel like about it, what's going on right now, it's like every female, like right now, they're all the same. It's like they all like the same dude. Like if me and Will's in the club and I seen a thick thing, I'm like, oh shoot, she thick right there. Will gonna be like, oh, she fat. I'm gonna be like, man, I still like that. You feel me? But if a female be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's cute, you know what I'm saying? And all the other friends, even though the girl don't even like him, she gonna be like, oh, he is cute, I'll fuck him. And then after that, she gonna fuck him. And she said, oh, the dick is amazing. Then I know where her friend wanna fuck him now. Like, oh, yeah, now she fucking. Like, that happened to me before, you know, like where I had sex with a girl, it was good, told her friend, and I ended up having sex with her, you know what I'm saying, her friend. So it's like that type of shit go down. So like, that's what females is on right now. Like, if Will told me he fucked the girl and she had some good pussy, I'll be like, I'll go find her friend. And say her friend probably got some good pussy or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fuck her. You know, like I don't want to fuck her after Will fucked her. A girl will fuck, you know, this guy and then fuck the same guy. Like that's what I think about it. So
10 years later, all the best friends of the girls that I had long term relationships, if I wanted, I could have it. That's the reality.
Long stroke or something from the.
No, that's the reality.
What's going on right now? It's like they all like you could see that if you go to the club right now, it's like one dude right now is getting all the girls, and it's like what the hell is going on? Like it's just, I don't know. It's like
Petty. I don't like him because I don't like him because he's promiscuous.
Yeah,
they don't say that.
If all the girls like him, everybody gonna like him, bro. I'm telling you. If you
Cam, the girl you fucked, Cam, the girl you fucked, did you make her a bust? It's not, she's still a virgin, right?
I mean, I try to make every girl bust no matter what. Like, I gotta make them bust before. And if they don't bust, maybe there's something wrong with them psychologically or something. Or
I'm driving up all the body counts.
All the body. Well, it's not even all the body counts. There's some girls like you have to like. It's like
if they're only counting it if you make them nut.
But
like with a girl that because like you know like it might some girls I know they told me they ain't never busted in their life, you know, and they ended up busting on me. It's like it depends on like the whole day, bro. Like you gotta do some saucy ass shit. I mean, if you guys know that word, you know,
make them catch the Holy Ghost.
But you gotta do like some type of shit. It's like all planned out and like all some type of shit. What you say and how you say it, and the girl might just get a little tingly, like and then you just gotta kiss her on the neck. Already done. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, like
we'll have a question for you before you.
You say what?
No, I had a question for you before you move on. Like it was not sex related, so. My thing is, Will, did you saw like you had like a when you were making a promo for this video, you made a short video that had like a lot of numbers and they had like a lot of comments. Most of those comments, I don't know if you read them, is always like that. What about men? 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 And it's very difficult to have a conversation with women because they really don't know how to be accountable. And I was very reluctant in treating women like they are children but I'm coming to the conclusion that they really are. Because there's no way I keep talking with you and say, bro, I need something from you. You have to do this and this and this. What about men? What about men? What about men? Is never like, there's never an accountable woman that can keep the conversation by 30 minutes strictly talking about women without them turning it to men. And we as men, we done it a lot. Like, come here for 3 hours talking about men this, men that, men that, men that. And it's very, I'm not going to say disappointed, but it's very disappointing to see that women can just get like the responsibility of something that they are doing all by themselves without trying to blame
I'm
shit.
gonna say one thing with that before you want to go, Devil.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so what I feel like what's really going on is like women, they don't have a leader right now. So what they're actually being led to right now, they're being led by evil spirits right now, and they're getting controlled. And the base of the spirits of what they're doing, they're basically telling them to go against men right now. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to go too religious right now, but it's like when a woman has so much sex right now, it breaking her spirit, and like she doesn't like have no foundation. It's like fucking up her whole head. She don't believe in God no more. A lot of women, they don't believe in God, and they don't believe in no religion. They believe in, you know what I'm saying, Satanism. I do what I will, do whatever I want. I move however I want, and that's right now it's controlling them and making them move a certain way.
That's wrong, bro. Why are you calling Kim Kardashian? Why are you calling Kim Kardashian an evil spirit? She doesn't deserve it.
Again, I think those evil spirits. I think it's called feminism.
Kim Kardashian doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I think there's an evolutionary component to it as well. What's going on, Wiseman?
What's happening, bro?
So
Goody was goody. Kim Kardashian and shit. All right, let's hear
Kim
it.
Kardashian is my hero. Don't talk.
Hey guys,
go ahead.
Let me move on to the next topic, because I do want to bring up this topic, and then you guys did bring up some points to it. And Wiseman, shout out to you, man. Thank you for jumping on as a public guest. Glad to have you part of this discussion. And I think I have to read a comment real quick from MZ Caro. She said that promiscuity is definitely destroying the value of a woman. What happens when she wants to settle down? Will she be honest about her to the person who she sees a future with? Actions have consequences. And I see Kyle on Twitch said, this conversation, the logic is wild. I am thoroughly entertained. All right, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to smash that, press the like, subscribe button real quick, and then don't forget, if you do want to jump on, you see Wiseman just jumped on right now as a public guest. You guys can also jump on as well, especially the women. I know some ladies are watching this right now, so I would love to have the ladies' perspective come on here. But I do want to bring up this topic because this is something that's constantly brought up every single time when you have a conversation with women when it comes to promiscuity. They always talk about the double standard, right? How come it's okay for a man to do it? Why can't we do it, right? And one of the things, for me personally, in my opinion, one of the things they forget to factor is the biological differences between men and women. Is you cannot compare each other. It's orange and apples because we're biologically different. So because we're biologically different, we have different consequences, and the consequences are not the same. So that's something that's really hard for them to understand. And one of the things that bothers me with that logic, also, a lot of women complain about men being promiscuous, but then they will do the exact same thing. So I don't like men promiscuity. So the way to battle that is I'm going to be promiscuous and do the exact same thing as men are doing. I'm like, what kind of logic is that? So I don't understand why their argument. All the men are doing it, I should do it, even though it's the very thing I complain about the men. I'm going to do the exact same thing as a woman. But I want to hear from you, fellas. Can you break that down for the women that's listening to this right now? And I want to put it out there also. I don't believe in promiscuity for men and women. I don't think women should do it. I don't think a man should do it. I think because of children, how it affects the children. I think children are raised better, have a better quality life with a father and a mother in the home, and they raise a child. I think as a dad, if you have multiple kids, it's going to affect them psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's going to cause some issues. That's why a lot of kids who grow up in single parent households have a lot of daddy or mother issues, or statistically have a lower quality life. So I don't believe in promiscuity, but I also understand the biological differences of what men have to do to earn access to sex, when women can just choose to pick up the litter. So I also understand that as well. But I want you guys to answer that question for all the women out there that are always complaining about the double standards. Oh, how come men can be promiscuous but we can't? Can you answer that so they can understand this question and settle this conversation once and for all? But let me start with you, Fatty. Fatty, what's your thoughts on how come men can be promiscuous and women can't? What's your opinion on that?
It's very easy to understand that. I don't even have to go to biology. If I'm an hunter and I go out to the wild and I kill a buffalo and I kill this and I kill that and I bring home and everyone in my community respect me because of that, I'm a great hunter. I'm a man. Because it's difficult for me to get food, I go out in the wild and I get it. Promiscuity for women is waking up, going to the fridge, pick up something, and then go back to bed. There's no effort. There's no talking out yourself out of the friend zone. There's no let me take you out to dinner. There's no let me pay for gas. There's no fucking effort. They don't initiate. They don't invest in terms of money. They don't do it. They don't do it. For them, it's just as simple as picking up the phone, go to their IG, see the last 10 guys that they are talking, saying, what about Netflix and chill tonight? The guy will send an Uber and they are going to. There's no kind of effort. So if you compare a skilled hunter that is only skilled because he got experience throughout his life, and compared to all the men in his tribe, like 90% of men can do what he does, compared to you, that you have no skill whatsoever, and that 99% of other women can do exactly what you do without having any type of technicality, without having any type of work, why should you get a badge of honor? It's not a badge of honor, it's a badge of dishonor, because it shows that you lack self-control. You have a fridge full of food, and instead of eating like one thing and leave it there, you are going there Monday, Friday, Sunday. It lacks self-discipline because it's easy for you and you indulge on that. So that's why it's not the same, because women don't have to work for it. As soon as women start getting on their knees and ask for marriage, pursuing guys actively, shooting their shot on Instagram. I'm not saying about the like and the liking 3 photos. I'm not saying about sending the fire emoji, reacting to the stories, actively engaging and actively pursuing the guys. If you have to fight for something, I will give you credit. Women don't have to fight for sex, so it's not the same. It's easy.
If you ask me, and pardon the interruption, but if you ask me, double standards exist. We just gotta get used to it, y'all. Embrace it. They're out there. Women can slap the shit out of a man in public. Nobody will come to the rescue of the man. They have social experience and experiments of this. Let a man put his hand on a female. Every single dude in the area is gonna tackle him, probably beat his ass. When it comes to going out in public, I open the door for the female. It's rare for you to see a female open the door for the dude. We are protectors. And I'm modernizing it because you said we go and hunt and all this stuff and we have certain rules. A female hunting, that's an anomaly. That's a lioness. It happens. But there are rules in the game. You can't go, if you go from country to country, you're not going to see a female with 10 lovers. But you might see a dude with a harem. He's going out there. He might have, if you want to simplify, go to the animal kingdom. You'll see a bunch of, literally have animal fight night on National Geographic, BBC, whatever, the PBC. They have all that. So if you think about it, it's just an innate, by design, men are more, when it comes to sex, we want to have as many partners as possible. And the sooner that you realize we're hardwired, an apple is going to be an apple. A Mac is going, a PC is going to be a PC. There are just differences in the game. So as soon as you know that we're hardwired to do certain shit, the better it will be for everybody else. Don't try to use your feet, like especially with females. That's why I'm an alpha male. Ask my wife. She listens. She knows I control most of the situations that goes on. I make most of the decisions. And if I'm in Hawaii, I'm in Hawaii. If I'm in the DR, I'm in the DR. Don't ask me no questions. And for you, make sure you stay home. If you can, handle the home situation, and I'll make sure you straight. It sounds crazy to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's because we're in a world with social media, and everyone's like, you got people saying, well, throw your pussy around and doing all kinds of shit. But the structure is very important, and when you realize that, it helps you out a lot more.
All right, no worries. Thank you, Wiseman. Appreciate you dropping some gems as a
That's
new
my
public
cousin right
guest.
there too. Blood
Hey.
cousin. That's like my
No worries.
my
Let me
cousin
pass.
right there.
We're traditional. We're traditional.
Yeah.
Some people want to get freestyle. You can freestyle your way into a divorce. I've been with my girl for over a decade. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Let me thank you. Let me pass it on to Devil. Devil, what's your thoughts? Why can men be promiscuous, women can't?
Well, just to put it into perspective, a woman who gives sex away willy-nilly, like we've been discussing, is like a man who is willing to marry the wrong woman, fall in love with the wrong woman, or spend excessive amounts of money he can't afford to lose on the wrong woman. A woman who gives sex away without knowing the risks or consequences is like a man who marries the wrong woman without knowing the risks or consequences. Both of them are going to end up in a horrible position, except the difference is women end up with a lot of extensive psychological damage. Actually, I looked up, there is a link between like hypersexuality and increased anxiety and depression and mental health disorders, especially in women. Whereas men, they get hurt, but then they end up watching a lot of red pill or manosphere content, and then they get back on their feet, and then they continue to pursue their career. Now, the self-deletion rate, the rate at which people take themselves out, it drastically increases after divorce because of, the legal environment. But if you can get past that phase as a man, you can recover fully. Whereas with women, you spent all or most of your good years, and now you're traumatized and damaged. So it's really a sad prospect, because I mean, you live to be 80 or 90 years old, and you're out of the running for the best men by 35, 40 at the latest, probably late 20s, early 30s, depending on what the man wants and how long he wants to be with someone before he trusts them enough to have his kids. So that's 50 years. It's a long time to realize that you've lost. It's a slow decline. So,
all right.
If
All right,
I
no
can
worries.
add
Thank you.
something, sorry.
Gotcha.
I
Let
just wanna
me
say
go to the panel. Let me go to the panel wise, and I'll come back. All right. Let me get past that real quick. Let me pass it to you, Daniela. Daniela, what's your thoughts on it? What do you think? Why can men be promiscuous and why women can't? Oh, you're on mute.
Come on, Devil. Again?
You're still on mute, Daniela. Daniela, I'll come back to you. Let me pass it on to
that's you.
Cam.
oh,
Yo. Okay.
Cam, why do you think with and why women can't, Cam?
Okay, so the reason, to be honest, I was actually watching this video the other day by I think Andrew Tate. I don't know if you guys seen him. He's been everywhere on YouTube. He's everywhere. I keep on seeing it. But
Tate? Who is that? I don't know.
Andrew Tate. I don't know who he is.
I'm joking, because
you don't know. Okay, for sure.
Nah,
but yeah, he was basically saying like what I was. He was basically saying like it made complete sense about the reason why women can't have multiple sex partners. But nowadays we do have DNA tests, right? So back in the day, though, if a woman will have multiple partners of sex, you know what I mean? Like she can have 10 boyfriends, and she has sex with 10 of them boyfriends, and she get pregnant. Who the hell's the father? You know what I mean? But then if a man has 10 wives and he's having sex with all of them, and they only have sex with him, we know who the mother and the father is. You know what I mean? So like that's why the reason why women cannot be promiscuous, because You know, you would never know who the father is. That's why you see all these women right now. They don't even know who the father is. You know, they have all these damn kids and shit. Like, who the father? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they with a dude probably for like 2 years, and dude does a DNA test, finds out it's not even his kid. And it's like, damn, that's crazy. So that's the reason why women cannot be promiscuous, because they can end up having
Eternity.
Child by somebody they don't even know.
All right, no worries. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Cam. Yeah, and that's why we see that the single motherhood rate in America is increasing. There's a lot of women are having sex with guys that haven't proven that they want to be committed to them. But let me pass it to you, Taniela. Taniela, what's your thoughts on it? Why can men be promiscuous and why women can't?
It's quite simple in the sense that women control access to sex. So why can men be promiscuous? Because women allow them. Women allow these men to be promiscuous. And not only that, there used to be a structure where when a man is married, if he was to sleep with another man's wife, that husband would seek him out and either fight him or even push to kill. So there's always a level of threat, right? Because marriages were things where access to sex was only committed in. Now, I'm not talking about a substrata of men that would seek out sex work. There's always going to be that. But if we're looking at relationship, when marriages were the common goal for man and woman in terms of relationship, promiscuity wasn't really a thing because there's always that level of threat. When a man goes outside of his relationship to sleep with another man's wife, that man will be dealt with, and he will be dealt with accordingly. Now, why is that different nowadays? It's different because relationships such as the end outcome of marriage is no longer the priority for women. So they would rather have premarital sex or have sex outside of marriages. So men aren't committing. So when men aren't committing, they're not holding each other accountable in terms of, you sleep with my wife, I'm going to fuck you up, essentially. So men are single, women are single, and not only that, women are allowing it. You know, instead of talking about why can men be promiscuous, why are your sisters or your sisterhood allowing these men to sleep with so many of y'all? Like, it's as easy as that. It's not so much. We can go down the route of biology, we can go down the route of social experiment and all these things which are proving that, which devil sort of delve into. I read a couple of similar studies. Women who have high body count have the same level of or are exposed to the same level of trauma or PTSD as war veterans. They're very close, if not similar. So even your own biology is telling you it's not suitable for you to pursue this as an option. But if we take that out completely and we just look at it from a one-dimensional sort of arena, women are allowing men to be promiscuous. So don't give us the question of why is it different? Why does that double standard exist? Talk amongst yourself. Question each other. Why is it that you're allowing men to sleep with so many y'all with no accountability, no adherent value, no commitment at all? Don't question us. We're just playing by the rules that you now set for the game. We're just engaging. That's all it is. We're engaging in a rule that has been changed by women for men. And now the favor is in our court, essentially. They're questioning why that double standard exists when they know exactly why it exists, because you allow it. That's all it is.
All right.
Will,
Thank you for
if I
sharing that,
may add,
Taniela.
Will.
Let me, I know Wiseman, I know you wanted to add on. Go ahead, Wiseman.
You're the host, so I have to pay my respects. So, and that's the thing. It boils down to what I was saying. It's by design. I don't want to have to simplify it to animals, but humans, in a sense, are animals. Why is it that one goat can have 6 or 7 female goats? Why is it 1 or 2, 3 lions have a whole pride? It boils down by design. People think that humans are just magical creatures. We can do whatever, say whatever. There's no path. It's just that we freestyle everything. No. When you believe in the design, if you design a TV to display in 4K, it'll display in 4K. The reason why women allow it is because it's by design. They can say, I don't want a dude that has multiple sex partners. Yet if a dude can provide to the utmost maximum level, their tolerance changes, right? We know this because we're smart enough to understand and do the research. For those of you that don't do the research, then you try to boil it down the way your mind works. But everybody's different. That's why we have porn stars. There's some females that are like, hey, I'm trying to train this pussy. Those are anomalies, like, hey, but they're getting money from it all. But in terms of relationships, there's certain rules that you have to abide by. And if you abide by those rules, you'll make it out alive.
Will, can I tell you something before you move on? It's very quick, 30 seconds. The thing that I don't like to answer these kind of questions is because they are made in bad faith. They are not here to learn. They are not here to be convinced. They are not here. Why can men do it and women do it? You can give him the best answer in the world. They are not going to change their ways. When men ask women, what do you like? What do you want? Etc. is to improve, is to change, is to course correct. They are not asking this in good faith. They are asking this to put the conversation in the mud. So now we are on the same level playing field. And this is why I really don't like to divert and answer why I do this and why I do that. Is because it's not a conversation in good faith. There's no woman, after we all say what you want, I really changed my mind. Thank you. It's not going to happen. They don't work like that. For some reason, they don't work like that. So I understand why we are entertaining this question, but at the end of the day, I really don't, because they are not going to change. They just want to fight us and know what we believe. And if they don't agree, they are going to be more smart about it. Now I'm going to fuck the guy at my job, the guy at school, the guy at the gym, so no one knows about it, instead of fucking 3 guys at the same school that I'm with. They are just going to be smart ones about it. So I don't know.
All right, no worries. Anybody want to add on before we move on?
I mean, shoot.
Come on, Ifedii, you clear your throat. Now you have to say something.
I mean,
I was joking.
I mean, that is true though. Everything you guys said, I think you guys already finished everything. And like what you all said, I think we could go to the next question. So.
No, I think my to add on something real quick before we move on. I think because I've done this podcast with over hundreds of women. One of the things women always forget to realize, they think that they always assume that sexual attraction is symmetrical between men and women. It's the same. Because how many times what they don't realize is like what we are attracted to are different. So I know I've heard on the Fresh Fit podcast, they always said men have to build their value where women have to preserve it. So as men, in order for us to get access to sex, we have to build our value. We have to be competent. We have to be confident, to be ambitious, be financially stable, be a provider, protector, be a leader. So these are the very qualities that we have to build and to be promiscuous and to have access to sex. Women are very attracted to those things. But the thing is, for us, for men, we're very territorial, especially if you're talking to a masculine man. Maybe a simple beta or feminine man may accept promiscuity for a woman. But a good man, a man that's working on himself to build his value, who has options, he's not going to accept that. And we don't like women who are very promiscuous. And you don't know how many times I've asked women on this podcast, "Oh, you've met a man and he accepted hundreds of women. Do you care?" They're like, "Oh no, I don't care. As long as he's faithful, as long as he's faithful to me and he's giving up on his past, they're okay with it." But of course, if you ask the same question to the men, "Hey, have you met a woman, but she had over 100? You found out she had over 100 dudes."
Unless she's a porn star. That's an anomaly, right?
No, but
She gonna make you for $1.
I'm not gonna wife her though.
No.
You're not gonna wife her, of course.
The thing is, even those stars are getting men, bro. Even those stars are getting men.
You go ahead. Men are sexually active. We go ahead. We're not gonna wife though. My girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, she stay home and cook and clean. And that's why I love her. I'll give her everything. I just bought her a $5,000 Louis bag, by the way. She deserved it. She don't go to the club. She don't do nothing. All she do is mop, cook, and clean.
I have to disagree with you guys.
And she
because you guys are not going to wife them up, but other guys will. We know that. We know. We
There's
know
simps.
that
There's simps in their
they are
veins.
going
That's
to.
true.
Yeah, they are going to do it. So why change? Will, you said what? I already talked with hundreds of women. I was there probably for 80. How many of them after you said we like this? Oh, thank you, Will. I will change now. And no, they are going to fight you till the end. And at the end of the show, instead of saying, okay, I got it, and now I'm going to share this. Say, thank you for the different opinions. I like to be here. It's always like
Right,
that.
they won't change. No,
Yeah, they won't
and the
change.
reason
They
why I
won't
know
change.
that you're right, Fatty, is because I've been with, and my girl, she already knows this, but she probably gonna come down and try to stare all up in the camera. But I've been with females that fucked with NBA players, Golden State Warriors. I'm not gonna say no names, multiple. And you know what they always said? My vibe. Ask Ifedii. Ifedii knows we have a camp. They love our vibe, our energy, and they understand that, hey, you guys are going to do what you guys do. You're not going to try and change my mind. You're going to let me be free, and they're going to be free. They know they'll never get wiped up. Eventually, maybe down the line, they'll make their move and snatch somebody up. But they know when women are young, especially when they're young, they're promiscuous and they fuck around. Don't get it twisted, and don't think that your female don't have a high body count. And high to me is over 5. So imagine what's really high and what's nuclear. So at the end of the day, you can try to talk all you want. Men and women don't, we're not wired the same, which is my original premise. We are not wired brain-wise, literally. We're different devices. So you can't change their mind, but you can try to elaborate and they can understand. Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, even Adam 22, even though he fucks with porn stars and shit, but that's another realm. But and then even this podcast, Will, I see you, Will. You're trying to let people know because a lot of people don't understand that men and women are literally wired differently. When you understand that, a lot of things will become easier to you.
Yeah, I mean
Go ahead,
real quick, the reason that I do it is just honestly for the sake of other men. Like, what would I have wished I would have heard when I was 18 instead of 25 after college? Like that's what makes it worth it for me. I know you're preaching to the choir when it comes to these women, and hopefully guys don't spend too much time trying to change their mind because, I mean, I'm a numbers guy, and the data made me realize much more quickly than if I were to listen to the mental gymnastics that women do to try and say that, oh, well, what about this? Oh, what about this? Okay, well, I'm just like Fatty said, oh, well, thanks for sharing your opinion with me. I'm going to go and not do shit differently.
They just waste their time.
Yeah, I mean, the only solution to this is find women who've been shielded from this toxic culture young and coach them and use your wisdom to see the signs of a hoe in disguise, and then you might come out alive.
Will forget about just 1 second, Taniela, and forget about this sexual talk. How many women that were your friends came to you saying, he beats me, he abuses me, he's toxic, and you say, okay, leave him. I will. And 2 weeks later, they're with the same dude and they are back again. Yeah. There's no. When you base your life on vibes and energy, and I feel like there's no convincing in you. You might be a famous philosopher. You might be Andrew Tate. You might be a junkie on the street. They don't listen to you. It's just about feels and everything. So I agreed on the point. If their nature is not repressed, and this is a little bit dirty word, if their nature is not repressed by religion, by good family structure, by any kind of thing, you are not going to find that after 23.
It's going to be tough.
You are
and
really
I hate to say it, the word that women hate, even my girl hates, is the word submissive. You just got to be submissive. Like, I wouldn't have been able to buy this $1.5 million house and just be able to do what I do without my girl. I'll give her that. but I wouldn't be with her if she wasn't at least submissive. She lets me control. If I want to give her control, which I do often, I'll give her control. I say, babe, you leave this, hey, you know, these bills or whatever, you leave this kitchen where we're doing the kitchen, you pay for the kitchen. Like I'm not paying for it, but you pick the colors out. I don't care about the colors.
It's a fake sense of power, like you are delegating.
Just give her a little something.
Yeah.
Here, you can pick the colors. Women appreciate that because some dudes are too alpha, where they do too much. It's a balance. When you find that balance as a man, and I want to tell a lot of you youngsters out there, for me, what helped me is, I ain't gonna lie, online dating, which I don't want to get into too much. As a man, when you're especially if you're in your 20s, go try to be the biggest hoe you can, as crazy as that sounds.
Really
Because
going
once
to
you're
fight
in your
on
mid
that.
30s, 40s, 50s, now you're looking at monetary value. There's certain financial shit that comes into play. But if you're young, go out there and try to get as much pussy as you can, dog. Don't try to fall for the trap and try to be like, yo, I'm gonna, Mike, you're like 22, 23. That's my girl, nigga. You're fighting over bitches and buying them crazy shit. I've been with my girl for a long time. Before she got that Louis bag, she had to earn it. Make sure your bitch earns it. Don't be a sucker. That's all. In terms of that chapter.
Willie's going to fight you on that.
Yeah, Wiseman,
Yeah.
add on real quick.
Yeah. So I guess my whole part of this thing is that my point of difference is that I found my woman very young in a red pill state. Red pill wasn't a thing, but a vast majority of the ideologies I followed through very young. And now we had a podcast before, and my advice to young men is in the sense of, or any man at all, you know, any woman is game, regardless of whatever you look at it, whether they're a single mother, they're a modern woman. It depends on how far you're willing to compete in that market and how well you're going to pursue whatever level of competence that market demands. Modern women demands they need a nut, they need a high value man, they need to be supplying all these things, blah, blah. And we know men will compete in that space. Some will compete to find commitment, vast majority won't. So my advice would usually be, you can find a woman very young and be red pill. You can. And I hope that when I reach a certain amount of years with my wife, that I can sit here and say, it's achievable. There are certain levels to this game of commitment, relationship, red pill, whatever you want to classify it, you know, but it's up to you as a man. The reason why this whole promiscuity subject to me is a bit off in terms of how women will perceive it is that, how do you call it? Man, I had that point right at the tip of my tongue and then I just lost it last minute.
No, you had it. I mean, how old is your wife?
So I met my wife, she was 21, I was 20. She was a single mother, just came out of a relationship where she was abused. And at first I saw her as just, I need to bag her and that's it. I was very ambitious at the time. And I said to her, hey, if you're willing to fool around with me, cool. That's an option for you. If you think I am worth it for you, that's it. I'm not guaranteeing you we're going to be in a relationship, but it might. There's a possibility. I'm not promising.
She was getting her bread though. Was she getting her bread? Because it sounds like she had something that you were like, yo, even though she's a single mom, I'm ready to go. She had something.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was like she cooked and she's an ultimate chef. She cleaned, like ideology. She had something, didn't she?
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, so she was a wife before I even committed. She came to my workplace every other day, brought food, you know, and when we went up, you know, the sex was bomb,
Pay attention,
all the
women.
yada yada. And 9 to 12 months later, I said, hey, I think we can make this work. It's an option for you, but you've got to understand this thing. I'm not going to be the committed guy for the next 2 years. So if you're willing, even within a relationship, that you're willing to wait it out and see when I'm going to turn around, my accountability is to say to you, I promise within the next 2 years, I'm going to become a committed man. But it's not going to happen as soon as I say, you're my woman. It's going to take me some time. I've been single for a while.
You got to
And
battle.
this is from someone who became sexually active at 11. My mother died when I was 6, so I got growing real quick. I hung out with a lot of cousins that were 4 or 6 years older than me. So when I hit that threshold of 11 years old, I was living in pretty much as a 16 to 18-year-old sort of kid. So there's a lot of levels to this game, and the reason, I've got it. The reason why it's disadvantage for women to be promiscuous is because of red pill is a thing, right? Whether we can argue whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's a thing. And when most men become aware of the level of game that they can achieve, even for the average man, the woman will essentially lose out. Because right now, a woman with high body count can settle with the average Joe, and the average Joe might not give a shit. But when the average Joe becomes aware, he's like, okay, now I see what games you're playing, and now I'm at a disadvantage. I know that you've been imprinted on, and you can walk out on me at any time if Chad and Tyrone gives you attention. So why should I even pursue it?
I hate to say this, but a lot of you guys are wifing these hoes, bro. It sounds to me like if you care about body count that much, right, in terms of fucking, then you wifing them, right? So that already tells me. So for me, when a girl really fucks with you, it should be easy. It's easy. It's like God mode. You're in the game. You're just slaying. Everything is God mode. You're fucking shit up. And she doesn't deviate. She doesn't get distracted. The second that you find that your bitch is distracted, she's for the streets. Get your fuck on and dip. A lot of these dudes are trying to wife hoes. Body count, in my heyday, body count didn't matter to me. I'm just trying to put pussy and go. Now you wife me. That matters.
That's it.
If you not
that's
wife,
the ultimate goal.
I'm trying to get a nut busted like a squirrel.
Let's segue to the next topic because it's relevant to what you guys are discussing. Thank you for sharing that, Taniela and Wiseman. And we got somebody in the live chat for the first time, Loco Rue. Hey, he's coming for you, Wiseman. He said on the live chat, Wiseman, shut up, get boomed. He's talking shit on the live chat. All right. Uncle Rue, hey man. Thank you for being on the live chat for the first time. When do you agree or disagree? But thank you for everybody in the live chat. Don't forget to let me know what you guys think and like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to you guys. But fellas, I kind of end off the podcast with this question. I think Wiseman did bring it up. If a man out there wants to marry a woman, be in a committed relationship, long term, especially in today when majority of women are promiscuous. I want to ask you, fellas, a lot of women would ask me the question, so I want to ask you the same question because a lot of women they're dying to hear this. They want to know the answer. What number is considered a high body count or a hoe, right? And also to add on to that question is, why is it dangerous for a man to wife up a woman with a high body count? Obviously, there's a lot of guys out there. I think Wiseman brought it up. A lot of guys are wifing hoes. In America, the divorce rate is the highest than ever. Women initiate 80% of divorces. So the women not only get married, but they're the one breaking up their marriages, and they're the one choosing their men as well. Because we have to pursue them. So that's the question I want to ask. A lot of women always ask me the question. What's that number? What's the number? So what I ask you guys is, what do you guys consider? What's your number? That's high body count that you consider a hoe that you will not wife up, you will not commit. And also add on to that is, what are the consequences of wifing a woman with a high body count? If a man out there wants to wife up a woman with a high body count, what does he need to know of the risk that he's taking? So I want to hear where you guys at, and don't lie about the number. Keep it real. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't
that reminds me of the commercial real quick. Am I muted? No, I'm good. You guys ever see that commercial? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And then it'll go like 1, 2, and then it'll just fucking eat the thing. That's like the question you just asked, man. Like, a girl can date some lame, she's not ruined, there's no trauma. She dates another lame. Then she dates a super alpha dude who's abusive, aggressive. Maybe he puts his hands on her. Maybe she catches him cheating. She's fucked. She's done. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to deal with the trauma. I don't want to deal with none of that. I don't like unraveling the spaghetti of her trauma. So my answer is going to be complicated. But that's just that's my opinion on it. It only takes one. A girl might be able to get away with 5 or 6 without getting that much trauma, but that statistically is where it's like the point of no return with like marital success rates and women over 5 partners. There's just like a drop off. There's a drop off after 1 partner, to be honest. But yeah, I'll just sum it up with one sentence. After a certain point, love becomes a conscious choice instead of an infatuation. You guys have heard me say it before. There's a blind infatuation you can't shake. You know, women will be crying. I believe him. It's not his baby, when he had a baby with another woman just because she's so in love with him, she doesn't want to accept the truth. Then she'll get older, she'll wise up, she'll be 38, and she'll choose to settle for a beta that's a good provider and stable. And, you know, he'll have to pick up the scraps, but that's not love, if you ask me. That's a choice.
Okay. So for you, Devil, your number is like 1? Is that
I like that answer.
My number is as long as she doesn't show signs that she's been alpha widowed and she's coachable. And
I heard you say 5 or something like that. But
yeah,
I
5.
Like
I would say 5 is a good. If I had to give a number, I'd say.
Yeah. You
okay?
jumped
All right.
into it.
Thank you, Devil. Thank you for sharing that. Let me pass it to you, Cam. Cam, what do you think? What number is a high body count for you? And why is it a good risk? Why do you think it's a big risk for a guy to wife up a hoe or a woman that has a high body count?
So what Devil was said earlier, about like one person could actually affect the woman. I believe that 100%. But if a woman has not been affected, I feel like if she could count to how many toes she got and hand and fingers she got, she's a super thought. So you can't fuck more than 20 niggas. You know what I'm saying? Whoa! A female if she fucks over 20 niggas, you're a hoe. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. So 10, if you want to fuck 10 niggas, 15 niggas, you better keep it at that.
Good number, 18,
you better go find your husband on number 20 or something.
Yeah, let me be one of them.
Over the toes and you can't count the toes, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, and a nigga finds out, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I'm fucking with a female and she's talking about, oh yeah, I fucked more than 15 niggas. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it could be cool. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on how she got fucked. You know what I mean? If she's been fucked,
how bad is she?
Ran a train. She had ran a train. It don't matter if she only fucked 3 niggas. She got trained, I'm done. You know what I mean? I can't fuck with no girl that has run a train. If she's been, you know what I'm saying, foursomes, all that orgy, bukkake, all that bullshit, can't wife her. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all never fuck with no. Oh, you can't wife. Y'all never. You
can't. I'll fuck her definitely.
Okay, because I'm about to say y'all talking low.
Yeah. I'll fuck her for sure. I'll fuck any female, man. Any female can have, you know what I'm saying, 100,000 bodies. You know what I'm saying? She get fucked from me, and that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm sorry, I would. But I'm not.
That's what they're for. No, I'm just kidding.
You said what?
Wow,
you got that much practice, you know. You gotta stay sharp. Let the young Will buck.
Will, make a short out of this. Will, make a short out of this.
No, because this is the most I didn't talk the whole time, so I haven't been talking. But this is the last question. I got to say what I have to say, and I feel like when it comes to wifing them down, no, I'm not gonna wife a girl that has more than over, you know what I'm saying, 20 bodies. But you know what I'm saying, like that's how I feel. But I feel like it's gonna be hard to find a girl right now that has less than 5 bodies right now. Like, it's on social media, bro. Like right now, what's going on? Back in the day, you will actually only fuck the person that you knew, you know, like the neighborhood. But then not all the girls don't want to fuck that nigga in the neighborhood. Now these girls will drive 3 hours away to go fuck somebody that nobody will ever know.
Now you'll get flown out.
Flown out. You know what I mean? From
somebody ask me how.
You will never even know. You talking about she in, you know what I'm saying, Oregon and shit. You're like, what you doing in Oregon? You know, she probably just, I went to go visit my, you know what I'm saying? my aunt and shit. And she
Oh,
with
that's
her
nigga
aunt.
in
No
Oregon
shit.
that's gonna get some pussy.
She really with her aunt though in Oregon, but she went to go on fucking Tinder or Bumble, whatever it calls, and met up a dude and fuck that dude. You know what I mean? So it's like you can never know right now, like how much, like how many a female could lie and say 5 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
Cap.
But
I got a crazy story, but I'll wait till it's my turn.
yeah, but as of right now, like these females will like you would never know who they're actually fucking. So like
Okay. All right.
we
No
never
worries.
know now. Yep.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, Cam. So your number is 20. All right, 20. All right, 20. That's your number. All right, you gave hope. You just gave a lot of hope.
Which isn't bad, Will.
You just gave a lot of hope, a lot of holes out there.
20 is low.
20's pretty low, Will. You know that. 20 is very low.
I'm lie to you,
Compared
Will.
to right-
Your
compared
numbers do
to-
right. Women lie like crazy. I got a crazy story. I'll tell you later.
But Will, but
Okay.
they are right, bro. We 20 by
No,
30.
No. I know.
20 by 30
I
is
can't
low.
know that you're a female and you only have 20 bodies. That's
Right?
low.
That's pretty low right now.
They are going to brag. They are going to say, "Hey,
20
Will,
is,
I only fuck 20 guys."
Don't let me tell you this story. I'm gonna wait till it's my turn. Don't let me.
I'm almost
tell
a
you this
virgin.
story.
20 is high school numbers.
That's college numbers. That's
Yeah.
All right, let me pass it to you, Fatty. Fatty, what's your thoughts on it? What's your number to be considered a high body count, and
me,
that you
that-
won't wipe them up? And then what
to
are the
me, that-
risks? What are the risk of wiping a woman that has a high body count?
to me that question is the same thing as saying, how many times can I stand on the middle of the road without getting hit by a bus? It depends on your luck and depends on for me, to be honest, I want to know your history. Like, how many times were you a mistress? How many times was the guy a low life? How many times he was eating you when you stayed? How many times, like, I think that's some guys on this panel already said it. The quality of the guys tells a lot about the woman. Like, the quality of guys that she picks to stay with them says a lot about her. If the guy was on a relationship and she still went ahead because she wanted them, I think that says more about the woman than the numbers. If you were saying to me 5 years ago, I would say 30, because all the attractive women that I considered friends back then, they were all on their 30s and 40s in terms of body count. All of them, like with no exception. So I thought, like, hey, if I get someone that there's not 30 body,
30 or 13.
30 T with 30. But now I'm going with single digits. If it's not single digits, I'm sorry, because that's, bro, it's like I really believe this, and if you don't believe it, is okay. I think once you pass the double digits, bro, the woman, if she's going to marry someone, is negotiated. It's like negotiated attraction. She's going to look at you as like a business deal. Oh, I have a checklist. That guy can help me my checklist, can help me get the car, the house, the trip, the kid. So after the number 10, I think is like a negotiated attraction. It's not let me do this because I really love him and I think it's a negotiating. It's like signing a contract. So I'm not inclined to sign it anyway because I know they can lie. And right now it's very easy to lie. That's why they are lying, because they don't fuck guys. Like Ifedii said, before you would fuck a neighbor and everyone knew you fuck a neighbor. So now you can fuck anyone else, because if you fuck another neighbor, now you are a hoe. But now that they can go and they can fuck a guy that's 3 hours away, then fuck a guy that's a neighbor, then they fuck a guy at work, then they fuck a guy at school. Now no one knows who is who. So if she comes to me and she's listening to this podcast and she says, "Oh, Ferry says it has to be double digits." Okay, I'm 9. My number is 9 now.
And if you notice, that's the most common number. Have you noticed
That's
that?
the
I've
common
dated
number.
a lot of women. I've dated over in my life. I dated over 50 women and had, like, I don't want to get too crazy before my girl comes down, but a 9 is the most common number.
The common number that I got is 9 and 7. 7 is like the epic goal. 7
They're trying to create room for you.
Yeah.
They're trying to create.
Three
room
of them
for
were
you.
boyfriends. One of them I was really sad, and I was going through a breakup, and the other two was like a one night thing. But to be honest, Will, at this point, bro, I'm tired, bro. I really don't
You're gonna
care.
take that shit to the grave.
Yeah, I really don't care, bro. Like, as if
They're
I
better
don't,
at that than us. They're
yeah,
better at that.
if I don't have like a Professor Xavier type of way of looking in your brain, bro. If Elon Musk doesn't get like a chip that you put on the head and you
I
can
need
see
to
the
mind
body
me,
count of the
y'all.
back.
How do I do that? How do I get Professor Xavier?
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah,
to
What you gonna do though?
some
What you gonna do though?
Yeah, but it's not about that. Elon Musk is going to save us with the chip that you put on people's head. Like, you're going to see the body count on
Okay,
the
hopefully
forehead.
I can leave till I'm 100.
Yeah.
And I can
But
get
to be honest,
by then I won't even care, but I would like it anyway.
but Will, to be honest, I'm not even going to entertain like the number, because I wouldn't like a virgin. I would like someone that has a little bit of experience. 3, 4, 5 would be nice, would be great. So you don't go after marriage, so you don't go, oh, I didn't have the chance to experience. Now I want to go this. Like 5 would be great, but you can lie. You can have 50 and say 5 the
Pushing on
same
the
way.
unicorn right now. Shit,
Yeah.
the girl better be
All right.
too. I'm playing.
Fatty is a single digits. All right, single digits from Fatty. Fatty, thank you for sharing that. I'll pass it to you, Taniela. Taniela, what's your
5.
number to be considered a high body count
5.
for women? And what are the risks
5.
of why should a
And
women?
NBA starting 5.
Yeah. So
You went to basketball team.
So 5 is the absolute max for me. If it's more than 5, highly unlikely. Still possible, but you have to be exceptional as a woman. You have to be extremely exceptional. And I'm going to optimize that 5. Say, in the magic world of hypothetical, I woke up tomorrow and my wife and children cease to exist, and they never existed in this world. I turn my dating game on. I'm going to optimize that number by only going after 21 to 23-year-old. And I know I have a high chance. Why? Because there's a certain amount of values that I've stacked up over the last 7 years. My ambitions, my career of choice, the accolades I've gathered. I'm going to be hitting the gym for the next 3 months to add on to that value. And I know 21 to 23, I'm going to optimize that 5 depending on where I look. 23, less likely. 25 is the absolute highest. Highly unlikely I'll go there. And again, you have to be exceptional. I know my value as a man. I've got my numbers stacked in between those. 21 to 23, 24, 25, absolute max. And I'm going to bet on that because I understand how women work. And I understand how women work in that age. I've dated in that age. And I've wifed up my woman in that age. So I don't even care. If you're 20, 25, 26, I ain't even looking at you. Right? So I'm going to optimize 5. I know from my experience with women is that after 5 bodies, it start to be, I'm a queen. I need to be treated like a queen. I ain't here to run that game. We either build together and compromise on things that we agree and don't agree on, or it ain't nothing. You either play the game or we're not playing at all. Right. And I've seen that's been my sort of mantra during dating. It's worked out for me, even with a lot of high body count women. And that is just dating and fucking. So when I'm talking about a wife, I'm giving you value. And that value is that I'm going to give you everything that a woman wants out of a man. You need to match the standard that I have for you. So 5, absolute max. 21 to 23. 24, 25, highly unlikely. So that's my number.
All right, Taniela, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. And I'll pass it to you, Wiseman. What's your thoughts about it? Well, I know you brought up your number already, but yeah, what's your number? Say it one more time for everybody in the live chat. And of course, why shouldn't a guy wife up a woman with a high body count?
Yes. So I just saw the chat, Fatty. I saw you. Hey, I took the screen of the.
Nah, that's okay. hey, bro, it's woman soccer, so nobody's going to see it anyway.
Are you a betting man? How did you know? You must be a betting man, or you can see it crystal clear. Are you a betting man? How'd you know that?
No, I'm not, but I was seeing the picture and I was like, nah, yeah.
Well, I got money on the game because, I'm not a degenerate. We make money, Cam. They don't know about when it's only. But thank you for inviting me to the pod. I will say this. So my girl, and I have to be honest, everything that she's done, I had to let her lie about her body count. Women are gonna lie. Yes, she said single digits. I think it's higher because she's pretty bad. I'm sure somebody had to dibble and dabble. But at the end of the day, I will say this: as an alpha male, I'm not insecure. If your female holds it down, she deserves to have the crown. That's how I view it. That's how I look at life. Now, the body count wise, every female's gonna lie, but I am a single digits dude. And I have a crazy story to tell you. And men that are listening, please don't judge your girl. And females that are listening, it's okay to be honest with your man. So my ex was Mormon. I don't know if you guys know what Mormon is.
Yeah.
I hear some accents. So, that's I think, Will, you might be from Australia or Oceania, like maybe like New Zealand or some shit. And Fatty, you sound like
Yeah, I'm from Portugal.
Nigerian. So,
No, I'm from Portugal, not Nigerian.
Portugal? Oh, you
Yeah, why do
sound
you think-
Nigerian as hell.
Why do you think I'm a scammer, bro?
Nigerian too.
Why do you think I'm a
No,
scammer?
I'm
man?
Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. My
Yeah,
girl-
you are a scammer, not me.
No,
you
I'm
are
not
You're
scamming.
not
Hold on.
scamming,
My
man.
girl, 500 years later, found out she was Nigerian. 500 years later, found out that she's Nigerian. So we got took for the Gold Coast. They call it the Gold Coast. Who knows? You might be Nigerian. You just don't even know it. But what I'm trying to say is, so my ex, she was white and Cuban. Bad, of course. Obviously, she's pretty. I'm an alpha male, so I only like. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just trying to say, like, a lot of men don't go to the gym. A lot of men don't make sure that they keep them, not only their self nice and tight, but they don't. They a lot of men stress over bullshit. I'm free spirited. I don't trip off of that. So my ex was Mormon, and then so she went to college, right? We all went to college. I mean, that's how I was able to buy this house. But she went to college. I'm not gonna say the state because who knows? Somebody might know her and might tell her that I'm talking. But basically, do you know what the number she said in college? Do you know what her number was?
40.
I want all of y'all to guess. In
A
one
soccer
year,
team.
1 year, not the whole college. I'm talking about 1 year. What's her number?
25.
I'm going with
Who
11.
said 25? Who said 25?
For Taniela.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going with 11, a soccer team.
40.
So Cam 40, Fatty, what you got?
I'm going with 11, a soccer team.
11. Wow, you love them. You trust these females. I can tell Fatty loves females. He's like
11 is in 1 year.
11?
Come on, bro. That's a lot.
Devil, what you got?
What was her lie, or what was the actual number?
No, she's bad too. Remember, she's bad and she's in college.
If you're asking what her lie was, I would say 4 or 5. If what the actual number
Her
was,
body
maybe
count in that 1 year.
I'm going with 9.
She's not in college.
Will, what you got, Will?
I'll say I'll probably say 20, 29, 28.
It was 25. And she told me the truth because I'm a cool dude. I'm a free spirit. She had 25 bodies, and one of them was I played basketball with the dude. Like, we were on a basketball team. And she fucked him too. Yeah.
Dang.
Think about it, guys.
Hey, think about it. Hey,
Were they all
It's crazy,
athletes?
yeah.
Were they all athletes?
Not all of them, but there were football players and basketball players, yes. Same circle
Jordan.
as I am.
Coach,
Same circle.
well,
Same
she
circle.
told you
Same
after
circle.
you lost all respect for her, huh? After
No,
you
you
told her.
want to know why I didn't lose respect for her? Because I set her free, and I said she wanted to try to get married, and I was like 22, 23.
You wasn't gonna wife her.
No, never. I was too young to wife. I needed to get my shit right. I had to get my master's and all that before I had to do all that, which Cam,
Do
you
you
already
know
know
if she's
about.
do you know if she's been
No,
locked
she's
up?
married. No, I know. No. So the story gets crazier. So the girl I'm with now, she's so, like I said, I'm an alpha, so I'm very cool with my exes. I let them do it, She tried to tell my mom and dad we had a party because she's friends with my cousin, and she was like, tell him to come over, tell him to come. And then my ex was like, hello, like, what the fuck? Like, she's trying to get you to come over there. And then what ended up happening is we went to the mall, and that's why I ended up buying her the bag. I felt like, you know what, you deserve this bag because, you know, you're not even tripping. She wasn't even tripping. She's like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm trying to stunt on your ex. But anyways, the story of the moral of the story is females lie about their body count. She lied and lied and lied and tried to say that, oh no, I haven't been. But because I'm a cool dude, she's open with me. And she had 21 years. And guys, let me tell you something, guys. Don't ever wait on a bitch.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
Sheesh.
In college.
Yeah, I'm going to put a claim to fame here with that guess. We had an earlier podcast many moons ago, and the question was, can men read women, whether they tell them their body count or not? I'm under the impression that vast majority of men can. I know for certain I can. There's a certain way that women behave that will tell you that whatever the number, the single digit number, most men have a single digit number of what they're going to tolerate. Most men do.
There's it's called hoe tendencies. If she bends down, if you're in the mall and you're shopping and you're at the jean store and there's a dude walking by and she's bending down and the dude is near her and she doesn't kind of turn or like, oh my God, like, and she just openly has her fat ass out there, and there's people walking around her, and like there might be a guy that tries to scoot. You know how men are; they'll try to scoot, act like they're scooting, but their dick is facing her.
Here's the reason why there will be a shitloads of weak men that don't understand this concept. But a vast majority of men with any sort of competence will realize this is men communicate non-verbally. So we watch non-verbal signs, and men of competence use this as a strategy to compete in whatever career that they're in. We understand body language, and we understand when there's a threat from other men. We can read. Weak men who have no level of competence don't know this because they don't utilize it. So therefore, they have no competence. The reason why these men and women in general don't understand this is because they communicate verbally. Everything has to be by mouth for them to understand. Men of competence will realize when there's a certain female that they're attracted to within their presence, there are certain levels to the game where they move a certain way that we can just tell this woman is all good for fucking and nothing else.
Oh yeah.
And as harsh as that sounds, that's what a lot of women don't understand. And I know that you put that clip up on TikTok. I can read from the comments of the men who say, oh, men don't, you can't tell that. I know for a fact I can. And I know that the cohort of men that I will hang myself around who compete with other men at a very high at a very high level, they understand. They understand how men move and they understand how women move. That's why men of caliber can be promiscuous, because they understand the give, tell signs. We understand the game a lot better than a vast majority of people who will be willing to understand it. So when we talk about body count, and I have this claim to my fame sort of thing, you know, it becomes something that you can read easy. And it's not so much for me, and this is why I argue it's not so much insecurity for men that are quote unquote high valued. It's just how optimized is your option, right? Are you going to have more chances of building something? And vast majority of us would love to see our legacy build on further than our own generations. We want to have babies, and those babies, we want them to grow into generations of families. So when we look at our females and the options of who we want to wife up, we want to wife up a woman that's going to hold it down, that we go sit back one day at the white picket fence, you know, a house in the country or whatever, and see all the grandkids, you know, come together and celebrate. That to me is a successful relationship marriage. And be proud of that. And have my woman sit right beside me and say, hey, we did that.
Yeah,
you know, 70 plus, you know, individual in one place. And I know Tate talks about this, and I'm under the same thing. I want to sit back at the age of 70, 80, even 90 and look at 70 plus bodies in a backyard, all enjoying life. That to me is success. That's beautiful. Right.
Drake said the same thing like you just said. He said, I don't care. I just want you to hold it down. Stay scheming. Y'all should listen to Stay Scheming. Tate is 100% right. Imagine, it's better to feast with many than to feast alone. You have a whole backyard full of people yes, your family that you can look back and say, wow, I created that. There's nothing more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, no worries. Fellas, we have come to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for you guys for jumping on. And thank you for everybody in the live chat. Let me read some comments real quick. More Production said, let's be realistic, 20 is too low. Okay. All right. Too Wonderful said, I want to do the panel for the Powerball numbers for Friday's drawing. All right. Thank you for everybody in the live chat, and thank you for watching for the entire panel. Shout out to you guys for jumping on. Thank you, Fatty. Thank you, Dev. I know you guys have to jump a little bit early. Appreciate you guys for being on part of the podcast. And of course, thank you, Cam and Taniela. And of course, thank you, Wiseman, for coming on and dropping
I'm
some
just a
gems, man.
guest.
Dropping some game and some truth for everybody out, especially for the women. But
I'm just a
fellas,
guest.
There's good women out here and there's good dudes.
Fellas, what's your final thoughts for tonight's podcast? But also, I want to ask you guys: can you? I know Daniela brought it up, if because I want to leave something for the women. And a lot of women, we just kind of probably a lot of women listening right now probably hate everything that we said because they disagree with the majority of it. But I do want to leave something for the women. So for the women out there who do have a high body count, I think Daniela brought it up. There's only an exception. She has to be very exceptional for me to look past that body count. So if a woman has to be the exception, can you guys break down like the three qualities that a woman had to do if she's listening to this right now? And she, you know what?
Great question.
I really need to listen. I want to take accountability. I want to find a good man. And a lot of you guys said she had to be that exceptional woman for me to look past her high body
Great
count.
question.
Even though majority of men won't, but maybe there's a chance that she's willing to put in the work. What would she have to do to be that exceptional woman? And if you want to list some qualities, it gives some game to those women that's listening right now that do want to take accountability. So, what's your final thoughts? And what's your thoughts for those certain qualities that makes her an exceptional woman for a man to look past her body count? And I'll start with you. Wiseman. I know Wiseman right now. What's your final thoughts? And what can a woman do to become that exceptional woman for a man to possibly look past her high body count?
So, Taniela, my bad, am I saying it wrong? Taniela?
Yep, that's it.
So, you know how you say you with a single mom? I'm with a single mom too. And that's frowned upon. The community that I come from, it is frowned upon. You know how my girl made it work? I do consider myself an alpha male, but I'm educated. I have my master's. I have a career job. I'm getting more than 6 figures a year. There's no way I can have my pick of the litter. I already told you I've been with females that were with NBA players, and I scooted them to the side because my girl. So if you want to listen up, ladies. You have to be submissive. Let the alpha male run the show. You have to. Don't ask questions. I need peace. When I come back from work or a trip, I don't want no. I'm not answering no questions. I just need to have peace. And the third and the most important part is there are roles that you have to play the role. For me, I will give you everything: the moon, the stars, the solar system, anything that I can. If you literally just follow your man, I'll give you anything that I can. So for me, for those ladies out there, my girl, she thanks me every day. She thanks my family. She's a single mom. I raised the little boy. He's my son, and she does everything that a nigga asks. Just suck it up. Just suck it up. Play that role, and you can get an alpha male. You can get a nigga that's getting bread. You can get a nigga that can get any bitch that he wants. And he chooses you. But you have to play that role. A lot of women nowadays can't do that. Social media, my girl deleted her page and then restarted her page and only had family. And she had hella followers. She's bad. Booty, everything. She had hella followers. You have to make sacrifices. If you can do that, and I don't know how many women are listening, but hopefully I can change one life. You have to pretty much let your man lead. That's all I gotta say.
All right, man. Yeah, Wiseman dropping some truth right there, man. Shout out to you,
Yeah, we
Wiseman,
gonna let you
man.
cry soon, bro. Shit. No, I'm playing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
I'm just
Wiseman.
trying to help. There might be some ladies out there who's like, I'm a single mom, I can't get nobody. Yes, you can.
Boo. Yeah, you can.
You gotta play your part and make sure you be smart about it. That's
No, but
all.
but to be honest, if a woman, this is how I feel. If a woman
Okay.
really wants to get, oh my bad. If a woman has
No, you.
a high body count and she wants to get a man, and depends on how she looks. If she looks very good, she has a higher chance of still getting that man. You know, it sounds fucked up, but some female can have 100 bodies,
Yeah,
and if
be
she look
dirt
hella
ugly.
good, if she look hella, she has the opportunity to still get married. You know what I mean? It sounds messed up. So if female is not up to par, and she's not taking care of herself, or like her hygiene's not on point. You know what I mean? She's not taking care of her body. It's kind of messed up how men think. But even if she has
True.
a lower body than, like, if a female is like doesn't look all the way up to par and she has only 5 bodies, and a girl that look really good has over 25 bodies, the girl with 25 bodies, they still kind of might get chose up a little bit more, like, and it's fucked up. But the qualities.
You can't fall in love with a hoe. You can't fall in love with men
Yeah.
out there. I
Oh
hear
yeah.
you, Cam.
No.
You
I'm
can't
not
fall in
saying
love with a hoe though. It's an easy trap. Remember,
no,
Cam,
no.
you're right though. You're right.
I'm not saying
But
she
you
a
can
hoe.
fuck on her.
No, she
No wife must
fucked all the
be
dudes
married.
25, right? She fucked all the dudes 20. Now she's grown and trying to change, trying to find a man. So now she's trying to do all the qualities as a wife now. I'm saying that even the girl that only fucked 5 dudes, it doesn't look that up to par compared to her. She could still probably find another dude faster than her. It sounds fucked up, but this is how like society is right now. But I'm saying that for the girls that have the 25 bodies and they want the information for this stuff, you like as my cousin If said, you gotta be submissive for sure. Like you gotta like listen to the man, and you gotta actually go 10 times harder than the girl that's not doesn't have that high body count. You gotta
I need bread. I need bread, not beauty.
He finished his plate.
Yeah.
Or something.
I need bread, not beauty. I can fuck any bitch I want. I need bread. What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, so exactly. So if a girl has like a kid or something, like, or like she's fucked hella dudes, she needs to have at least a career, whether she's making some bread or making some. It sounds fucked up, but the girl that doesn't have that much, she could come in and she don't have a kid. She could come in,
she could be bad as hell,
a
and
year.
you only making $20,000 a year. I'm not even looking at you.
Yeah. If she's not a thought, though, if she's not a thought, if she's not a thought and she doesn't have that much bodies, I feel like, she could come in making not even that much money and dudes will wife her up, But if you're a girl that has hella bodies and stuff, you got to be making a lot of bread for some dudes to take you serious. And it sounds kind of fucked up, but that's how I feel like. So really, try to enhance yourself. Stop kicking it with certain girls. Cut off all the dudes you call your friends, and do a whole 180, start learning. If you don't know how to cook, learn how to cook. If you don't know how to respect men, learn how to respect men and talk to men and, be very respectful and be very kind and nice to a man. And just when a man's having a hard day, just shut up. Just try to be as respectful as you can to him. And I'm telling you, that's the only way that's really going to work, unless you want to get a beta man or a man is
or else they're gonna get Bumble and Tinder. If you got an alpha male, he's gonna get Bumble and Tinder and be fucking off. He's gonna be getting the hoes. Mm-hmm. But you heard what Cam said. If you want to go that route, you can go that route. Otherwise, the dude that you got, especially if he's a high value man, he's gonna be fucking hoes, and that's just, you gotta accept it.
All right, thank you, Cam. Thank you for sharing that final thought. And then last but not least, Taniela, what's your final thoughts? And also, for all the women out there that do want to change and take accountability, but they have a high body count, what's your advice to become that exceptional woman that you mentioned before on your take?
First of all, you've got to drop all your hype ladies that are hyping you up to live this lifestyle, because they aren't doing you any good. You know it. And second of all, find within your community some married women who are in happy relationship. This is where there was a generations of grandparents who showed an ideal sort of scenario for what married life is. And the reason for that is you need to also sort of shortlist those type of women to the women who are genuinely happy in their relationship. And you need to have a conversation with those women. What are they doing and how are they moving within that relationship? And not only that, you need to find at least a few male who are in long relationship. And I mean no minimum than 10 years. 10 years plus. So same with the wives. And speak to them about how they look at relationship and what sort of compromises they may work. I can't advise you on qualities because my level of standard is different from the next man. You know, Wiseman may look at his woman a very different way than I do. But you need to figure out what it is to be a wife first before you want to pursue this lifestyle. If you're a promiscuous woman and if you don't want it, don't listen to me. But if you want to be with a good man, at the end of the day, your chances are already low as it is. So to increase that chance, find married people who are in relationship that have been there for 10 plus years and listen to how they move within that relationship. You'll find out that a vast majority of the way that they think is no longer singular. This is what promiscuous women fall into. They start thinking of only themselves. I need my bag. And my body count shouldn't matter. All of these things would, when you're in a relationship, that shit goes out the window. And it should. Why? Because you're now operating with a different human being. You have a man that you want to keep his commitment for the rest of your life. That's the same sort of goal that he's got. So you have to look at what are the compromises that you're willing to move on and what essentially are going to be your boundaries. So find men and women who have been in relationship for over 10 years who are genuinely happy. And the second one is just easy. Learn to cook and clean. That'll take you out of a mind frame of just me. It'll put you in a mind frame of this is now a responsibility. This is going to be a responsibility that I will have to take up when I'm in a relationship. Why? Because it no longer forces you to think about yourself. You'll have to think about not only a man in your life, potentially kids, and these are duties that essentially a vast majority of men will look for. I'm not saying that women should do the washing, cleaning, and cooking and all of this shit, but it helps a good man in the sense that he can go out into the world and conquer it, and when he comes home, he finds a home full of peace and a wife who's willing to stand there by his side, whether he's out in the world or back in his own sort of safe haven. So last thoughts. I mean, these conversations are going and I enjoy them, but at the same time, for the women, even if you disagree, jump on. We can have these discussions in a civil manner, and if you walk away from it with at least learning whether to avoid guys like us, who you'll know you'll have no chance with, or better your game, whatever it is, the conversation needs to be had. But I thoroughly enjoyed another well-put podcast with all the panels that's been on, who's come and gone. And yeah, again, will probably tag me, so if you want to cancel me on my social media, more than happy to receive the backlash. But even if you want to have a conversation, whether you're a dude or a woman, reach out. Even if you want to swear at me, I mean, there needs to be we need to have these discussions without looking at canceling each other. So
all right, no worries. Thank you so much, Taniela. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of the podcast, and thank you so much. Shout out to Wiseman, Ifedii, Cam, and Devil. Thank you guys for being a part of the podcast. I'm definitely going to invite Wiseman. I'm definitely get your social media info so I can invite you for future podcasts, man. I definitely want to add you on the future panel. Thank you for everybody in the live chat. I think two wonderful some final comments said, if a woman wants a man to look past her high body count, she got to be 100% submissive to him from the jump. Like Wiseman said, no questions asked. Questions that you're not in the position to negotiate when you're at that position if you have a high body count. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody out there. You guys, I'm definitely going to drop the links on all these guys real quick on the social media information so you can follow them on their platforms. We do this every single Wednesday. So if you're watching this right now, don't forget to like, subscribe to get the notification every single time we do go live. And all you ladies out there, thank you so much. We do this every single week, and I'll see you guys next week with a new topic and new panel. All right, appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, guys. Peace. Peace on the live chat.
Peace.